Do you feel like there's a most pressing issue for the Latino community here in Fort Worth?
Definitely.
What do you think that is?
I think we need to get it together.
How do you mean?
Well, you know, when I came back, well, I guess when I left in the 70s to go to Houston, we were a fairly weak community politically, financially.
Here in Fort Worth?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't really have elected officials. We didn't have any power.
And when did you move?
In the 70s to Houston.
Okay.
And when I came back in the late 80s, I was really pleased because I remember going to a party and I met lawyers and I met CPAs and I met, you know, people in business and stuff. And in fact, my husband and I got involved in a group that we formed called Hispanic 2000. And our thought was that by 2000, the Hispanic population in Fort Worth was going to be pretty big, and that we should prepare and begin to prepare our people to run for office and to be involved politically and to teach them, because we had been involved in Houston, which has a very strong Hispanic presence. Mm-hmm. So we started this organization, but we stepped away. I remember we stepped away when other people took over as officers, and it kind of fell apart because we could not learn to disagree on issues or even candidates and then come back together. Mm-hmm. And work together again for the next cycle.
So this was a political organization?
Yes.
And it was designed to bring candidates in?
Yeah,
or, okay.
I think for training purposes. Mm-hmm. To learn, you know, all the way from being at the precinct level and how to run campaigns. Mm-hmm. And sources of money and how to build. But it was for grooming purposes of people who wanted to maybe run for office. Mm-hmm. And I think the downfall was that people disagreed on who they were going to support, and they got into beyond just a political thing and got into personalities. Mm-hmm. And that's the worst thing you can do because you have to be able to disagree and not take it personally. I mean, you're a Republican and I'm a Democrat, but that doesn't mean we can't work together on this particular project. Mm-hmm. And then go on to the next one where we may be on the other side. And maybe that comes from being a lawyer, where you go to trial and you're doing the defense work and somebody's doing the prosecuting, but after we leave the courtroom, we're still colleagues. Right. We haven't learned how to do that. And I'm not sure we've helped the younger generation to get into office. We've mentored them, we've given them money with the hopes that they would take that leadership and that goal of pulling us all together. And it hasn't happened yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has happened to a certain extent, but not certainly to reflect the numbers that we are in this county. Mm-hmm. I mean, you go like to San Antonio, where they had 5 women on the city, Hispanic women on the city council in 1 year. You even go next door and see that there have been Hispanics on the city council for a long time, and women. Mm-hmm. And here we have 1 Hispanic male on the city council. And, you know, my hopes would be that he would step aside and pull somebody else up and go on to the next one. But they seem to think that that's their job and they won't give it up to, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it's so hard for them to give that up and bring somebody else up. Mm-hmm.